And we're live, I think. What's up, people? Happy Thursday. Give me a thumbs up in the chat if you can hear me. Missed you guys. Nice and simple class today. Give me a thumbs up in the chat if you can hear me, please. We'll get started here in just a few minutes. There we go. What's up, Tammy? How's it going? Ooh. Silence my phone. Happy Thursday. Got a weekend on the way. Hopefully everybody's having a good week. Mine's going pretty good. The food tour has officially launched. You guys are getting to see some of the stuff come to fruition that has been occupying all of my time. The chef knives will be here in about 2 weeks. These beauties right here. AG10 Japanese steel. Good quality handle, very sturdy. Good weight. You guys are going to love those. Digital food thermometers are back in stock. Of course, you guys already know about this stuff. That's fully in stock as well. Cookbook is getting restocked in August. The food tour is officially kicked off in DC. All is well. Except for your boy's tired. But hey, that's what I signed up for. No complaint. Here we are. Chicken parm, calamari. Chicken parm, calamari, and a fantastic cocktail. All right, Carmen from New York. How you doing? I can let you off that easy. How's your week going? All right, you can use a shallot or an onion for this. You use fresh garlic, minced garlic, or garlic paste. Whatever you're in the mood for. I like to add a little pancetta to my pasta sauce because why the hell not? Totally optional, though. If you don't eat pork, you can leave that out. If you want to kick up the flavor, though, highly recommend it. We've got some fresh basil that we're going to chop up as well. That's going to go in the sauce. I love basil. I don't know about you guys, but it's one of my favorite herbs. I'm not going to tell y'all what my first favorite is. We've got some crushed tomatoes to make our sauce from scratch. For those of you guys that want to cheat, don't worry. I'm not going to judge. You can get some jarred marinara from the store. But today we're going to make ours from scratch. Super simple and quick. What else? I'm going to use a cast iron skillet to fry our chicken and... Actually, I might use this. I haven't decided yet. I'm either going to use a cast iron skillet or this frying pan to fry our chicken and our calamari. We're going to boil our spaghetti noodles. Yes. Yep. Thank you, Carl. Hope you enjoyed. Thank you for your purchase. Thank you kindly. I'm trying to give y'all a rundown of what you need to get out and get ready. You're going to need a knife. You're going to need a cutting board. You're going to need a frying pan, a pot to boil your noodles, a pot for your sauce, a mallet or something heavy to beat your chicken up like it's in charge of gas prices. A mallet or a meat tenderizer is perfect for this. If you don't have one, use an old textbook that you never studied, or a cookbook, or a cutting board, or your boxing gloves, something to flatten out the chicken breast. And that's really all you're gonna need. You're gonna need a nice rubber spatula, some tongs, a nice sharp chef knife, preferably mine in a couple weeks. Oh, Jesus. A mallet, a Ziploc bag is how I like to pound out my chicken. So if you have one of these, go ahead and grab that. If not, use saran wrap. Okay, Atlanta. We're going to have our food tour stops in Atlanta at the end of August or early September. We're still finalizing the negotiation with the venue, so I'll have those dates for you guys soon. We'll go ahead and start dicing up this shallot, though. So we got basil. We're going to dice up basil and shallot. If you got fresh garlic, you can dice up the fresh garlic as well. If you guys got any questions, let me know. Now's a great time to ask any questions. If there's any ingredients that you couldn't find, any substitutions that you need to make, let me know. Shout out to the DMV. First stop of the food tour. Tickets are already sold out, though. We're actually thinking about releasing some brunch tickets for Sunday. So Friday and Saturday, both of those dinners are sold out. Sold out in just a couple of days, a few days, actually, not a couple. Those tickets sold out, and a lot of people are upset about it, even though I promoted it every day, but you guys know how that works. So we're debating on doing a brunch on Sunday. A little bit cheaper because I realized that $250 in this economy is pretty expensive, although so is the cost of food and staffing and all the stuff that we got to pay for. So hopefully people understand that part. But yeah, so we got the 2 dinners in DC, and then we're thinking about rolling out a brunch on Sunday. To be determined, but keep your eyes peeled for that. We got some fresh basil, rolled and sliced. Always put a damp paper towel under your cutting board to prevent it from sliding on you. I want you guys to leave the kitchen with as many fingers as you came into the kitchen with. We have a shallot or an onion, whatever you want to use. Either one will work. As the skin tries to sabotage me live on national television. Not quite national television, but you guys are better than that. So we're going to cut the shallot in half, peel the skin off, and we're going to dice it up nice and fine. So a shallot is in the onion family. A shallot is relatively mild compared to a lot of other onions. It's commonly used in finishing sauces. It's used in vinaigrettes and dressings, and really used in any place that you use an onion. That's what a shallot is. It's basically an onion. It doesn't have quite the same bite. It's got a little hint of sweetness. And I just like to use them, especially if I don't have any onions.
Is it like the bougie cousin?
I think because it anything that's got like a different name comes off as bougie, but there's nothing unique about it that makes it bougie. You know what I mean? Like a pigeon is called a squab, but it's really just a pigeon. It's like this is called a shallot, but it's really just an onion. So we're gonna dice it up nice and fine. No right or wrong way to do this. Nice rough chop all the way through. This is a pretty big shallot. We're gonna make a couple passes because we want it to be nice and small. Class starts at 7, guys. We're just getting a little prep work done. So don't panic if you're just joining us. Just dicing up a shallot or an onion. You didn't miss anything. However, you did miss letting us know what your name is, where you're from, and what you're drinking. Because only a few people answered, and we got at least 12 people in here right now. Shout out to Inglewood. Jersey was just up that way not too long ago. All right, so for prep, I like to keep everything organized, everything in its place. These little ramekins come in handy when trying to do that. So we're going to put our shallot in this little bowl, also known as a ramekin. So when your house guests come over, you got everything prepped in the little bowls and stuff like this. It's going to make you look like you know what you're doing. And if the impression is you know what you're doing, that's half the battle. My old manager used to say, if you look like something, people will treat you like something. So when your house guests pull up or your kitchen's all laid out and it's smelling good, they already know the food's going to be good. In their mind, it's already delicious. We got shallot, we got basil, we've got garlic, all the fun stuff. You're gonna need some tomato paste. Perception is reality. That's a fact. That's the Trinity today. Onion, garlic, basil. That's the foundation. What time is it? We got 5 minutes. Any questions, guys, before we get started? Pour yourself a drink, put on some good music. Brenda, how's it going? Happy Thursday. Hope everyone's having a good week. All right, let's go through the prep list one more time. You're going to need a pot to boil your noodles. You're going to need a frying pan of some sort to fry your chicken and your calamari. You're going to need an aluminum foil lined baking sheet to remove the chicken and the calamari from the oil. You're going to need a few mixing bowls for the breading of the chicken and the calamari. And you need your stuff for the cocktail. Nice and simple. Oh, a pot for the sauce, too. Sorry, I forgot that. Can't forget the sauce. How much basil did you chop? About 2 to 3 tablespoons. The sauce is enough for probably 6 to 8 servings. You can make as much chicken as you want. I personally am making 2 servings of chicken, but you can make 4 to 6 easily. This recipe feeds 4 to 6 pretty easily. Really depends on how many pieces of chicken you're using. Good question. I'm going to switch to my other cutting board for the chicken. Got my ugly cutting board out for the kitchen, or for the chicken. All right, my friends, 2 more minutes. Any more questions before we get started? I'm going to make myself one more drink. Moody, please hit me on the ice. And then it's time to get to prepping. Boneless, skinless chicken breasts. I'm going to show you guys how to butterfly them. I recommend using saran wrap or a Ziploc bag for the beating we're going to put on them. Any new folks in the class? Anybody first time in the class? We've been doing this since the start of the pandemic. That's, man. I mean, it's 2 years.
2 years.
2.5, because it was March. Actually, we started before the pandemic, right?
Okay.
Was
Yeah,
it?
because we changed the name, right?
Yeah. And we might have started in January or February. I don't know. Might have been right around the pandemic time.
So do we have a finale when COVID
2.5
is officially
years.
over?
I don't think COVID's ever going to be officially over.
10,000 sign up class.
As soon as they said we don't have to wear masks in the airport, it's officially over to me. Now it's just the flu. Or like a worse version of it that, unfortunately, let's not get into that. Uh-oh, we got somebody that's new. That means we got to take a shot. Those are the rules. Shots up for the new folks. We'll do it right at 7 o'clock, and guess what time it is? 7 o'clock. Couple newbies. Pour yourself a shot. Cheers to you. Cheers to you at home. Cheers to my cameraman, Moody. Everybody say, hey, Big Moody. Woo, that Angel's Envy's good. What's up, guys? Welcome back. Thanks for joining us. We're back in the kitchen. I know it's been a little while. We've been a little inconsistent. My schedule has been crazy. The travel schedule, I can hit y'all with a million excuses, but I intend to do better about doing these more frequently for you guys. It's probably going to be more like 2 to 3 times a month though, instead of every week. During the pandemic, we were doing them every week just because everybody was at home every week. But with all the things that are going on, I'm just traveling a lot, and I can't always make sure I'm home on Thursday. So I appreciate your patience, love, and support. Getting into the agenda, we're going to start with prepping the chicken and the calamari. I'm going to show you guys how to butterfly the chicken. I'm going to show you guys how to prep the calamari. We're going to prep our breading station, so season the flour, all that good stuff. Then we're going to start on our sauce, boil the noodles, make us a cocktail. Then I probably won't need one, but I'm going to make one anyway. Then we're going to fry the chicken. Once the chicken's out of the grease, we're going to hit it with the mozzarella cheese, pop that in the oven to broil and melt the cheese nicely. At that point, while that's in the oven, we're going to fry the calamari. Calamari comes out the grease, chicken comes out the oven. We plate everything up, and we have ourselves a delicious dinner. If at any point you have any questions, comments, concerns, throw them in the chat. If at any point I'm moving too fast, tell me to slow down. I tend to move fast sometimes, especially if you guys are quiet. I assume that you guys are rolling with me. So, if I'm moving too fast, just let me know. Other than that, I appreciate your support. Thanks for joining us. Let's have some fun. Pour yourself a drink. Put on some good music. Let's make it happen. All right. Beautiful people. It is time to prep some chicken. So 1 breast is 2 portions. I'm going to say that again. 1 chicken breast is 2 portions. The reason for that is we're going to butterfly it. I'm going to take my knife this way, fold it over, put it in a Ziploc, and flatten it out. Okay? So what you want to do is get a sturdy cutting board, wet paper towel underneath. We're going to take our blade and cut right into the side of the chicken breast. Now, this is actually optional. So if you don't want to do it this way, you can just flatten out the whole chicken breast. It's going to be an enormous piece of chicken parm, but I'm not going to complain about that. But for the rest of us, we want a reasonable serving size. And with the cost of groceries right now, it's not a bad move to kind of, make it stretch, so to speak. But you just want to hand on top, blade in the middle. Like so, let me spin this around so you guys can see a little bit. Blade on top. Not a blade on top. Hand on top, blade in the middle. And we're just going to make a gentle pass and basically butterfly that out until it almost forms a heart shape. Everybody say, "Oh, so sweet." And then we're going to cut it right in the middle, okay? You have a butterfly chicken breast. Boom. That 1 breast is now 2 breasts. Super easy. I'll give you guys a second because I know that for some people that might be the first time you ever did that. Got any little stragglers, you can just slice them off. It helps to have a really nice sharp knife. Some guy named Mr. Make It Happen sells one. It's going to be on sale in a couple weeks. I don't know if you ever heard of him, but he makes a good knife. He didn't actually make it himself, but he procured it. All right. You guys give me a thumbs up when you're ready to beat this chicken like it's in charge of gas prices. The best way to do it is a Ziploc bag, easy cleanup. If you don't own one of these, or have one at the house, I should say, you can use a saran wrap fold over situation. Okay? Most people got a Ziploc though. Easy cleanup, you avoid splatter, all that good stuff. So we're going to place the chicken breast into the Ziploc. Then we are going to pound it flat and even with our meat tenderizer or mallet. Whatever you got will work just fine. Like so. Now this is a good way to take out some stress from the job. You don't really have to like pound it really hard. Just nice, firm taps. What you want to see is a nice flat and even piece of chicken. In Italy, they serve this like paper thin. We're in America, so we're gonna not pound it so flat. Because I feel like the chicken gets a little dry when it's that thin. If there's a little separation right here, so like at the end piece, it kind of like wants to break apart, that's no big deal because when we bread it, it's going to kind of lock in together. I'll show you guys that too. But if you see that happening, don't freak out. I'm looking for like a 1/4 inch thick. And that's what we got right there. So we're going to set that aside. Hand me one more Ziploc, Moody, please, sir. And do the same thing with our other chicken breast piece. Thank you, sir. Chicken breast into the Ziploc. Glove removed. Properly sanitized. Let's move this out of the way for a moment. And just firm taps. You can pretend to be a judge. Boom. Well, let's flatten her out a little bit more. Beautiful. All right. That's what we're going to do with the chicken for now. I'm also going to season it really quickly. So for that, grab yourself a tray of some sort or a paper plate for those of us that don't want to clean up a bunch of dishes. And then we're going to place our chicken breast that's been evenly flattened out onto that plate or baking sheet or whatever you want to use today. And then we're going to season it up. Simple seasoning for this. Everything's going to get some seasoning, so no need to go too heavy in one area. Just my all-purpose seasoning and some Italian seasoning. If you don't have my AP seasoning, no big deal. Use whatever your favorite all-purpose seasoning is. Or just use a blend of salt, pepper, garlic, and onion powder. That's salt, pepper, garlic, and onion powder. We got some magic in this bottle, though, so go ahead and grab that if you don't have it. And then a nice layer of Italian seasoning. Press that in, flip them over, and do the same thing on the other side. All right. No bald spots. Make sure you hit the whole surface with a little flavor, a little Italian seasoning. Press that in. You can cover that and put that in the fridge or just set it aside. That lets the seasoning kind of penetrate the meat a little bit. Next up, give me a thumbs up in the chat when you're ready to keep it moving. I'm going to show you guys how to prep your breader for the chicken. And then we'll do the calamari, kind of the same deal. You don't got to whisper, man. They know you're in here. That was just out. That's what I defrosted the calamari on. Thumbs up in the chat when you're ready to keep it moving. For this, we're going to need 3 bowls. You're going to need a bowl for your eggs, which will be this one. You need a bowl for your panko breadcrumbs and a bowl for your flour. So in one bowl, add your panko breadcrumbs. One bowl panko breadcrumbs. The other bowl, 2 cups of flour, 1.5 cups of flour. Just eyeball it. You guys are smart. And then in the last bowl, back here in the back, we're going to add 2 eggs and a splash of milk. Two eggs and a splash of milk or heavy cream or half and half, whatever you got. Egg number 1 and egg number 2. Splash of milk. Give that a whisk or a fork. Until everything is incorporated. There we go. Wash the hands, and then I'm going to show you what to do next. Always clean as you go, guys. Makes your life a lot easier once you're done. There's nothing worse than eating a delicious meal and then going into the kitchen and seeing it's an absolute disaster in there. All right, so we got 1.5 to 2 cups of all-purpose flour, about a cup or so of panko breadcrumbs, 2 eggs, about 1/4 cup of milk. We are now going to season our flour and our breadcrumbs. So what we're going to do is we're going to season the flour. We're going to add a little bit of seasoning, but a decent amount of Parmesan cheese into the panko breadcrumbs. So the idea here is the seasoned chicken is going to first go into the flour. From the flour, it's going to hit the eggs. From the eggs to the breadcrumbs, and then into the oil. All right, so for the seasoning blend for the flour, we're going down with some all-purpose seasoning, or use salt, pepper, garlic, onion powder, or whatever your favorite seasoning is. And then we're going to go in with a pinch of chicken bouillon powder. This stuff is magic, guys. I use it in a lot of stuff. It amplifies the flavor quite a bit. About 1/2 teaspoon to 1 teaspoon of that. It is a little bit salty, though, so don't go too crazy with it. And then I'm going to add some Italian seasoning to that as well. A little Italian seasoning to the panko breadcrumbs. A pinch of salt to the panko breadcrumbs. And then we're going to add some Parmesan cheese to the panko breadcrumbs. You can use the already grated stuff from the store. You can grate it yourself. About 1/4 cup This is one of my it's not really an secret ingredient, but it's a technique that I like to use because that Parmesan cheese is going to be the outer layer. So the panko breadcrumbs are the outer layer of your fried chicken. And the Parmesan cheese just has such a beautiful flavor when it gets fried and crispy like that. It's going to add some great flavor to your chicken Parmesan. So 1/4 cup of grated Parmesan into the panko breadcrumbs. Give that a mix. This could be the best chicken parm you ever had, I promise. Then we're going to mix in the seasoning into the flour. And we officially have our breading station prepped and ready for the chicken Parmesan. Beautiful. Set that aside until we need it a little bit later. Thumbs up in the chat when you're ready to move on to the calamari. I'm going to clean my knife and my cutting board for the calamari. Wipe down our counter. The measurements for the egg and flour. And 1/4 cup of milk. For the flour, it's 2 cups of flour. All-purpose seasoning, Italian seasoning, and chicken bouillon powder. Two eggs, 1/4 cup of milk, and then 2 cups of flour, all-purpose seasoning, chicken bouillon, and Italian seasoning. Nice clean cutting board, nice clean knife. A wet paper towel underneath the cutting board prevents it from slipping. And we have our calamari on a paper plate. Thumbs up in the chat when you're ready to move on to the calamari prep. No rush though, guys. Take your time if you need it. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask them. Everybody doing okay? Any questions, guys? Everybody doing okay? All right. Got a couple thumbs up. We're going to keep it pressing on. All right, so the calamari comes in the body and the tentacles. I like them both, so I'm going to eat them both. I also like to slice them relatively thick. So about like so. Don't serve me that thin ass calamari. That's how I like mine. about a finger and a half thick. Guess everybody's finger's a little different, but for me, that's how I like it. You can slice them thinner if you want. I just feel like you don't really get the full experience when they're thin. All you taste is breading. So slice your calamari based on your preferences. About 3 to 4 slices per piece of the body, depending on how big it is. And you don't have to do anything to the tentacles.
That's a sharp knife.
Damn right. Somebody said it. All right. So, my pro tip or trick for calamari is to soak it in some buttermilk. It'll remove any kind of fishiness that some people kind of complain about. I don't mind it. You're eating seafood, so it's gonna taste like seafood. But some people will complain about fishiness when it comes to certain seafood items. Soaking it in buttermilk will remove that a bit. It also tenderizes the calamari. One of the biggest complaints about calamari is that it's rubbery, right? It's chewy, it's rubbery. So what does the buttermilk do? It has a higher acid content in it than like regular milk. So the acid in the buttermilk breaks down the fibers in the calamari and tenderizes it, making it a little bit more enjoyable to eat. So soak your calamari in some buttermilk for about 30 minutes before you fry it. Just cover it in buttermilk like so. You don't even need to, do any egg wash or anything. We're just going to use the buttermilk. To that buttermilk, you want to add some flavor though. So we're going down with some more chicken bouillon because it brings the flavor to the party. And some salt and pepper or all-purpose seasoning. And just get in there and mix that around and allow the calamari to kind of soak in that seasoned buttermilk that I just spilled on the counter. Got a little too aggressive. Did it again. That's why we clean as we go. All right. Clean up your mess because I'm sure you made one too. There we go. Good as new. Woo, excuse me. That pepper. All right. So last step of the calamari prep is to just get your breading station prepared. For that, you're going to need flour, cornstarch, and baking powder. Flour, cornstarch, and baking powder. You're going to need 1 cup of flour, a 1/4 cup of cornstarch, and a teaspoon of baking powder. One cup of flour, a 1/4 cup of cornstarch, and a teaspoon of baking powder. The baking powder and the cornstarch are going to help make sure that it's extra crispy. Then we're just going to season that with some salt and pepper and some Cajun or Creole seasoning. A little garlic and onion powder wouldn't hurt either. A little Old Bay, whatever you got, whatever you like on your seafood is cool. I'm using a little Tony's Creole seasoning. Then we're just going to mix that in. Go ahead and turn the fire on your pasta water. Get that up to a boil. And that's most of our prep work right there. Any questions, guys? Everybody doing all right? All right, so to recap, we have our chicken pounded out nice and flat, seasoned. We have our calamari soaking in some buttermilk, seasoned. We have our flour, panko bread, crumbs, and egg wash ready. We have our breading for the calamari ready. We're in a good spot. So at this point, we're going to start on our pasta sauce and get our water boiling for the noodles. Once we get the pasta sauce started, we'll go ahead and make the cocktail, and then we're in the home stretch. Help me out with the camera moving. All right, so now we're going to get started on our homemade pasta sauce. For those of you that bought jarred stuff, shame on you. Just kidding. I don't blame you, but the homemade stuff is better, especially this recipe. So medium heat. We're going to add a little bit of avocado oil or olive oil, whatever you got. Almost lost the top to that. Good save. About a tablespoon of oil. To that, we're going to add 4 ounces of diced pancetta. Optional, but it's a flavor bomb. Working over medium heat here. You're also going to need your crushed tomatoes, your tomato paste, your garlic, your shallots, your basil. First, we want to toast this pancetta up. Optional step, but it adds a lot of flavor. While the pancetta is cooking, I like to add a little red pepper flakes because as they toast in there, they kind of wake up a little bit, rehydrate in the oil. Same deal with the Italian seasoning. Just wake those flavors up. Any questions, guys? Everybody doing okay? I'm good. That's good to hear. Your house should be smelling good at this point. It's going to smell better once we throw this garlic and onion on in here. All right. So once your pancetta is adequately toasted, we're going in with our onion. And the basil. And our tomato paste, about a tablespoon, heaping tablespoon of tomato paste. Work all that in together. You got to kind of mash that tomato paste up a little bit to break it up. You can decrease the heat down to medium-low at this point. And then we're going to add our garlic. Tablespoon of garlic. Fresh, minced paste, whatever you got is cool. And you'd want to work that garlic in there. Now your house is really smelling good. The kids are upstairs like, what are you cooking? Your husband's telling you you're acting unusual. We're going to add a little seasoning, a little salt and pepper, a little all-purpose seasoning, whatever you got. Just add a little bit more flavor to the party. And then we're going in with that can of crushed tomatoes. And if you can't tell, this is 100 times better than the stuff in the jar at the grocery store. You can add a little pinch of sugar to balance the acidity from the tomatoes if you want to. You could add some Parmesan cheese and then just season it to taste. A little salt and pepper, a little garlic, a little onion powder, whatever it needs, a little Italian seasoning. But you want to work that crushed tomato in there, bring it to a simmer, allow the flavors to kind of come together for a second, and then taste it and determine what you think it needs. If it needs a pinch of sugar, add a pinch of sugar. If it needs some salt, add some salt. But taste as you go and adjust the flavor to your preference. That's the name of the game when it comes to cooking. Yes, in the deli section is where you can find the pancetta. Yep, almost every store will carry it in the deli section. It's basically bacon's cousin that's not salted and cured the same way or smoked like it is salted and cured. I misspoke. It is salted and cured like bacon, but it's not smoked like bacon usually. So it doesn't have the smoky flavor that you get from bacon, but it does have a hint of saltiness, and it's basically from the same cut as bacon is. You can get the uncured version, which I think is what I use today. We go in with a little Parmesan cheese because why the hell not? We're here for a good time, not a long time. Then I'm gonna mix that in, and then I'm gonna taste it and adjust the seasoning, add the sugar, and then put it on the back burner and let it simmer until later when we need it. All right, for the sauce, you got a tablespoon of olive oil. You got 4 ounces of pancetta. You have a tablespoon of tomato paste. You got 1 onion, a tablespoon of garlic, some fresh basil, a 32-ounce can of crushed tomatoes, some Parmesan cheese, red pepper flakes, Italian seasoning, and all-purpose seasoning. A pinch of sugar if it needs it. And for me, I'm going to add just a pinch. I'm also going to add a little salt and pepper as well. And a little Italian seasoning. And that should be good to go. Just let that roll on the back burner. Let it simmer on low for as long as you want to, really. There we go. And that is a nice homemade sauce. Real quick and easy. We'll set that on the back burner and let that roll for a minute. Now, my friends, it's time to drink again. Thumbs up in the chat if you're ready for a cocktail. We'll take a quick little break if you guys need to catch up. No big deal. If not, give me a thumbs up in the chat and we'll start on the cocktail. Here's my cocktail station coming into frame. We got one drinker in the chat. Anybody else? All right, we got a couple more. One more thumbs up, and we'll move on to the cocktail. In the meantime, grab your strawberries, your liquor, your lemon juice, your simple syrup, your mint, some ice. The glass of your choice. All right, there it is. There it is. The thumbs up we were all waiting on. All right. Time for a cocktail. Let's glove up for safety. For this recipe, guys, you're going to need 4 to 5 sprigs of mint. I have a slight lisp, so the word sprigs really bothers me. So thanks for not laughing at me. You need 4 to 5 sprigs of mint. You need 1 ounce of simple syrup, 2 to 3 strawberries, 2.5 ounces of bourbon, and 1.5 ounce of lemon juice. I'll go through that again, so don't freak out. It's also in the email that I sent you. But don't panic. We're going to take 2 strawberries and chop them up like so. And that's going into the shaker glass. You're going to save your prettiest strawberry for garnish. The other 2 going in there for muddling. What's muddling? Muddling is when you take a muddler or the back of a spoon and crush whatever you're putting in your cocktail. For us, that is strawberries and mint. Nice, fresh, summer whiskey or bourbon cocktail. You can do this with vodka or tequila as well. But who wants to do that, right? So now we're going in with our 1/2 ounce of lemon juice. Fresh or store-bought. I'm not here to judge you. 1/2 ounce of lemon juice. 2 strawberries. 4 to 5 sprigs of mint. 1/2 ounce of lemon juice. 1 ounce of simple syrup. If you don't want it to be super sweet, use a 1/2 ounce. Then we're going to take our muddler or the back of a spoon and get in there and crush things up. This is going to allow the oil and the mint to release and infuse its flavor. Same thing for the strawberries. It's going to add some nice color to the situation as well, and a lot of that strawberry flavor. So just muddle it up nice, like so. We're going to add just a touch of ice. A little bit more ice, please. And then you want to go in with 2.5 ounces of bourbon. A little bit more if you're feeling frisky. Okay? We're going to give that a good shake. And then we're going to pour that over some ice. Then we're going to garnish with, we got a smaller strawberry than that. That's an enormous strawberry for garnish. We're going to garnish with mint and a strawberry. Preferably one that's been in the gym. There we go. That's the perfect one, baby. Good job. Good job, sir. Make a little slice in the strawberry. like so. So it'll sit on the rim comfortably. Boom. Little mint garnish on the side. And there you go, my friends. You have your new favorite summertime cocktail, just like that. Cheers. Bottoms up. We're going to use a metal straw to save the turtles. Give that to your cameraman. And rejoice. Thumbs up in the chat when you're ready to keep it moving. Let me know what you think of the cocktail. All right, our water still isn't boiling, so I'm going to switch it over to a hotter burner. Let's go, I'm starving. We're going. I'm glad you guys are in a rush because I usually breeze through these things and people tell me to slow down. So we're in a good spot. I like it. All right, the water is finally boiling. So we're going to drop our noodles, boil them per package instructions. And then it's time to fry some chicken. Always salt your pasta water, guys. All right, so break out that breading station we made earlier. Are we getting a printed version of the recipe? No, it's in your email though. This recipe is also on my YouTube channel. It's a little bit different from I posted it like 2 years ago, so I've adapted it quite a bit. But you know, it's on the YouTube channel as well. Not the calamari though, but the chicken parm. All right, so the seasoned chicken is going first into the flour. like so. From the flour, it's going into the eggs. You'll have access to this link anytime you want to use it too. So if you want to watch this, down the road and get the sauce recipe again, then just follow the email I sent you and click this link that you got today, and you'll be back in action. From the flour to the eggs, from the eggs to the breadcrumbs. And you really want to press those breadcrumbs in there. Even coverage, no bald spots. Sorry, fellas. And just place that on a plate. So again, chicken, flour. From the flour to the egg wash, from the egg wash to the breadcrumbs. Go ahead and get the oil in the skillet for me. This one? Cast iron. From the flour to the eggs, from the eggs to the breadcrumbs. Yeah. Just use your hands to get in there and make sure it's coated nicely in the breadcrumbs and the flour and all that good stuff. There we go. Clean as you go. A little overkill on the flour, but everything else was about perfect. Go ahead and put your oil in the skillet that you intend to fry in. We're going to clean up this counter, and then we're going to fry some chicken. You're looking for 350 degrees on the oil. Let's do this straight over here because this is what you got quick. All right, so what I like to do with my fried chicken, guys, any fried chicken, including chicken parm, I like for it to drain on a aluminum foil lined baking sheet with a wire rack. Looking for 350 degrees on the oil. Couple more minutes on the pasta noodles. How do you know if it's 350 degrees, you might ask? You need a digital food thermometer, guys. Whether it's mine or some other brand, you need one to be accurate. .350 is the temperature that we're looking for. You always also, anytime you're frying seafood and another protein, you always want to fry the seafood last. So today we're going to fry the chicken and then the calamari because we don't want our calamari tasting like chicken. I'm sorry. We don't want our chicken tasting like calamari, is what I meant to say. It was that shot you guys made me take at the beginning of class. I'm going to blame it on you guys. Hand me the fresh mozzarella, please. Looking for 350. Our noodles are almost done. We'll drain those, set them aside. While you wait for your oil to come up to temperature, you can go ahead and bread your calamari if you want to. Just take it from the buttermilk right into that flour mixture and then onto a paper plate. That way it's ready when the chicken comes out. My temperature is at about 275, so we got probably another 3 or 4 minutes, maybe less. Let's see where we're at now. .310, getting close. While you got some downtime, go ahead and bread up your calamari. You can turn your broiler on the oven as well, because we are going to make sure that this cheese on top of the chicken gets nice and brown and melty and beautiful. Almost 350, guys. One more second. Patience is a virtue. All right, I feel good about this. This will be 350. Yep. All right. So lay the chicken away from you into the skillet gently. We're just looking for a nice golden brown color on both sides because this is going to finish cooking in the oven. Put your oven on 425 at first, and then we'll put it on broil at the end if it needs to. Just take a peek at your chicken. Make sure it's cooking evenly. Make sure it's not sticking to the bottom of your skillet. That's looking gorgeous. You got to talk nice to your chicken when you're frying it. That's a pro tip. You sweet talk it, it's going to cooperate with you. Getting close. About another 15 seconds. We're going to flip them over. Look at that, guys. That is golden brown and beautiful, my friends. It don't get much better than that. Make sure both sides are looking even. Nice and crispy. I'm going to remove it to the wire rack and allow it to finish in the oven. I'm going to do something you should never do, which is move this hot grease for a second. All right. So for the next step, once your chicken has the color and the crispiness that you're looking for, I like to hit mine with just a little pinch of salt, fresh out of the grease, so that first bite is magical. Then we're going to go down with a layer of Parmesan cheese. A very light ladle of that sauce right down the middle, landing strip. And then that mozzarella cheese. Don't be shy with this part. Cover it nicely in that fresh mozzarella. Like so. And then we're going to pop that into the oven at 425 until the chicken is fully cooked. 165, 165 degrees internal temperature on the chicken. And then we're going to torch it or broil it until the cheese is melted and nice and brown. All right. So make sure your calamari is breaded. Fresh out of the buttermilk right into the seasoned flour. And then we're going to get that oil back up to 350 and fry that calamari. Again, guys, another disclaimer. Never, ever move hot oil in your house. Like your mom used to say, do as I say, not as I do. Dangerous stuff there. Once it hits 350, we'll drop the calamari. Calamari cooks exceptionally fast. So literally like 3 minutes. I'm going to scoop up a little bit of this breadcrumb and Parmesan cheese that's in there. Any questions, guys? Everybody doing all right? I don't even know the brand. What brand of mozzarella was that? I get whatever's on sale. There you go. What Moody said. Almost at 350. The platter, like the smaller one. As soon as the oil hits 350, we're going to drop our calamari, which I believe is right now. Yes, sir. Just carefully place the calamari into 350-degree oil. And these are going to fry up super quick. We'll do them in 2 batches. About 3 minutes. You can move them around, make sure they're cooking evenly. Okay, that'll work. Once they get nice and golden brown, they're done. We'll go ahead and pull these out, drop the next batch. Take a peek at that chicken in the oven. And then we're going to plate all this up. Let them get nice and golden brown and crispy. I'm going to put my chicken under the broiler so that it gets nice and golden brown and the cheese melts. These will be done in a minute or 2. Any questions, guys? Everybody doing all right? There we go. You don't want to overcook your calamari because it'll get rubbery. And it's already a little rubbery just naturally, so you don't want to overcook it. So I don't like mine to get too dark and tough. So as soon as it gets a nice golden brown color, I'm going to fetch it out of the oil. And it's time to plate all this up. That'll wipe down for me, please, sir. I need to work for it. All right, guys, we're about to plate this up. We're in the home stretch. It's time to eat. Right at 1:20, just like Moody called it. Damn genius. Hand me this sweet chili sauce. I serve my calamari with sweet chili, but you use marinara or aioli, tartar sauce, whatever you like for your seafood will get the job done. Parsley. I got it. Roughly parsley. Sweet chili, calamari, and a little parsley garnish. In there for a little preliminary taste test. Nice and crispy. A little parsley garnish. You can hit it with some lemon juice if you want. Nice little calamari appetizer. All right, next up for the finale. We got our platter ready. We got our spaghetti sides. Coming with the spaghetti side. Fresh off the tweezers for presentation purposes. Little ladle of sauce right on top. Like so. Little layer of sauce at the bottom for our chicken parm to rest on. It's had a long day in the oven. Chicken parm. And then just for final measure, break out the heavy artillery. You can do this under the broiler in the oven, guys, but I'm just showing off a little bit. Give you all your money's worth. Beautiful. Everything gets a little layer of Parmesan cheese. And a little parsley. And that, my friends, is restaurant quality, better than restaurant quality, chicken parm and calamari. Hope you guys had fun. Let me know what you think in the comments. Make sure if you're not already subscribed to the channel, please do that. You're on my YouTube channel as we speak. So hit that subscribe button and the bell to enable notifications. We have a chef knife hitting the market soon. We've got seasoning on the market. We do these classes 2 to 3 times per week. I've got a food tour that's already in DC, but the tickets are sold out. We got tickets in Houston. We're going to go to Atlanta. We're going to Miami. We're going to LA. We're going to New York. Hope you guys had fun. Where's my cup? I think I already drank it, so we're not going to do that. We don't need another drink. But I will toast you guys with my Yeti cup. All right, we're going to go ahead and wrap this up, guys. Hope you guys had fun. We do these on Thursdays. You can subscribe to the Patreon and get access to all of these classes. The link to the class will work in the future. So anytime you want to watch this, you can replay it and just hit that link that I sent you via email. Save it to your favorites or whatever, and it'll pop right up. So anytime you buy one of these classes, you get access to it for life. I appreciate you guys tuning in. I hope to see you again. Until next time, cheers, my friends.